Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Civilization 6 with Bundeswehr Bob and Magnus. Say hello, Ben.
Hello.
So with new goal, I challenge you to get nuclear weapons and then hellfire everything.
And then split the planet.
Yes.
Well, 11 terms to the Manhattan Project.
Oh man, I'm excited.
I've been working on the Manhattan Project in Iridium for like half of last episode, and we're getting there. 11 terms, and we'll have nukes.
I'm excited.
I want to see what happens when nukes go off in this game, because it's varied from game to game. You know, in some civs you could destroy the planet, or, you know, cause the sea level, you know, like the ice caps to melt and the sea levels to rise, and, you know, reshape the continents and things like that.
Turn tiles.
You ever read the article about the guy who's had a game of like Civ 2 going for like 20 years?
I have. I don't know if it was 20 years, but when did Civ 2 come out?
I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure it was Civ 2 because I don't think it was Civ 3 that they were talking about in the article. But basically, there's no end date on it, and the only way to finish the game is to basically conquer the planet. And so many, the nukes went off, the sea levels rose, everything became irradiated, everybody died. All the farmland became irradiated, so people starved to death. The size of the cities plummeted. A whole bunch more rebels just popped in St. Petersburg. What the fuck is going on down here? How do I make this stop? What is this? That mobile mechanized infantry. Well, why don't we kill the mechanized infantry first? But basically, you know, as soon as there's so little production left in the world because everything's irradiated. There's not a way to get rid of it because you know, there's no production left or anything like that. So it's just this like barren, you know, post-apocalyptic wasteland. There's just a few tiny cities on archipelagos left. Everybody keeps building military units and killing each other, even though the planet's gone. Let's see. Box formation, evasive maneuvers. Combat strength when defending versus anti-air. Combat strength versus defending against fighters. Oh, that's poor. That's not going to do anything. Okay. Fucking St. Petersburg is a pissy little town. How do you get them more amenities? What do you do? Well, fuck it. I'll nuke it.
Nuke your own city. That's gonna be the weapons test.
Yeah. If Smolensk doesn't get its shit in order, it'll be my weapons test. Rebellion. The lack of amenities in St. Petersburg has caused people to take up arms against you, spawning 4 hostile units on top of the 4 hostile units that spawned before, and the 4 hostile units that spawned in Smolensk. It's like 4 episodes worth of production, worth of units for my entire, country.
Medic. You go that way. Still not quite clear if medic is a passive thing or not. Like so far, like I haven't seen a like an activate medic ability thing. So I'm assuming that just like having the medic nearby heals units.
You know what I've noticed in this game is there's too many goddamn notifications. I find myself not paying attention to them because every turn, like 40 things pop up. It's like, you don't need to tell me 3 times when barbarians approach, all of them being in the same city. You could just tell me once. And then you also don't need to tell me on a separate notifications that barbarians are approaching. Apparently I had ironclads over here. What do you upgrade to? Destroyer. Alright, you're a destroyer now.
Take Geneva.
Alright, you're gonna die. You're dead, I guess. St. Petersburg needs more amenities. I've picked up on that.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Geneva, why'd you do that to me?
This bomber's next to useless.
I think I just found a bug.
What?
So, you know in, like in some Paradox games, how it'll have, like in Crusader Kings 2, for instance, it'll have something like, you know, like a string of characters or something like that, for like a name of a character.
Mm-hmm.
We got something similar going on with a city state here. So I just freed Geneva. I clicked on the city state, and it's like $ city state name $ type value $ suzerain patron values $. Some goofy shit going on.
Yeah, whenever every once in a while, like CK2, it'll be like, would you like to create like duchy _ random string of characters _ emirate _ blah 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 _ random string of characters. It's like, oh,
I'm not really a fan of. So I freed a city state, and I assume that they're all sorts of happy with me about it, but they kicked all of my units out of their territory.
Thank you for returning our homeland. Now get the fuck out. We don't appreciate warmongers.
What the fuck?
You know, I'm starting to. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I could put my finger on it precisely, but I'm not getting that one more turn feeling like I did from previous Civ titles. And I can't precisely put my finger on what is causing that.
Is it the cartoony graphics?
I don't think it's the cartoony. I don't think it's the cartoony graphics. I don't really give a flying rat's ass about the cartoony graphics too much. I think I would like a little bit more definition in like borders and stuff like that. Just a couple graphical tweaks here and there, I think would you know, just improve my quality of life in the game a little bit. But I mean, the overall style doesn't. Take it or leave it, really.
Claim great person. Is it a general? No, it's a scientist. Carl Sagan.
Yay. All right, we're building a moon lander.
I'm learning about nuclear weapons.
Well, basically, my goal is to either get. I'm going to move to the moon and nuke the Earth.
Moon people.
Yes.
Like the Nazis on the dark side of the moon. Did you ever watch the movie Iron Sky?
No.
Oh, man. You're missing out some quality entertainment. I think it might be on Netflix. You have to check it.
I'll look at it.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful B movie. Oh, so good. I played Wing Commander. I'm pretty sure I can fly this.
Love Wing Commander. It was a good game. I remember once, it was a number of years ago now, I was having this like theoretical discussion about with a friend about like the practical, you know, difficulties of constructing a moon base, like you know, like actual things you would have to overcome to do something like that. And over the course of like a 4-hour conversation, it went from like theoretical discussion of a moon base to like genocide and eugenics real fast.
Why?
Well,
how did you get there?
It turned into this whole thing like, well, if you have like this closed system, you can, you know, you can improve the human race through, you know, selective breeding and things like that. And it turned into this whole thing where like, well, yeah, but then you have the problem if you could freely move between the Earth and the moon, then you would have this problem where, you know, you would have people intermingling where you wouldn't want to, and they would, you know, passing on unwanted genes into your like pure strain of human or superhuman and things like that. And then it turned into like it evolved into like, okay, now we're gonna have to go to war with the Earth to wipe out the normals. And then from there it turned into this horrible like discussion of okay, we just create some sort of genetic virus to basically render all the normals sterile, and they will just slowly die off and leave the infrastructure of the planet for us to
wait back up a
take
second.
Over.
Why are the moon people and the normal people at war with each other to begin with?
The moon people
I feel like I've
themselves
missed a few steps in
superior
the
to the
genocide.
normals.
But why?
Because of their they have superior genetics because they would have used their advanced technology to map the human genome and eliminate unwanted characteristics in their strain of humanity in their closed system.
How did they get to that point?
To the point where they had that technology. I think we gave ourselves liberty in that if you had the technology to construct a mutant base, you also had technology to map the human genome accurately and eliminate unwanted variables in the equation. But it was a very much like for the greater good kind of thing. Like, okay, yeah, there'd be some people you'd have to kill, but if they had unwanted genes in them, then it'd be for the greater good, and everybody'd be happy about it.
God, you are never ever going to be in like my cabinet if I ever like get into position of governance.
No, that'd be a bad idea. What? At the end of the conversation, we were talking about like the practical application of developing a genetic virus to sterilize all the humans left on the planet, so that we can eliminate them and take over the planet. And move back to Earth and take over the planet without destroying the planet and the infrastructure and everything like that. And at the end of the conversation, we're like, at the beginning of this, weren't we like having a peaceful conversation about like science and exploration? We're like, yeah, I guess that's how like genocidal maniacs start. It was all for the greater good, and then it turned real dark.
What the fuck?
This was a long time ago. This must have been like 8 years ago too. But it was literally like a 4-hour conversation, and it started out just about talking about science and modern science and future science and theoretical science and things like that, and then just slowly morphed from A to B to C to D to genocide over the course of several hours.
God, that's goofy.
Yeah.
Isn't it like the premise of the new Call of Duty game?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Nobody fucking plays that game, so who knows?
Well, I did see an article or something about sales being like significantly down compared from this iteration from the last iteration of Call of Duty. The sales are down significantly.
Well, on the Steam like analytics, apparently on launch day peak hour on launch day, the maximum number of people playing the new Call of Duty game was like 15,000 or something like that. Something just absolutely awfully terrible. But I mean, I'm glad, because that game as a whole is probably the worst thing that's happened to the gaming industry in the last like decade.
I don't know if I go that far, but
I think I would.
Well, we already know that the depths of your hatred for things can go deep.
Can the roots run deep?
Yes.
Well, my dislike for that series is just because bad business practices that stem from there bleed through and affect other markets, and that's what I don't like. Kind of brings me to Skyrim.
Well, the remastered thing I think was just for consoles, right? I think we had this discussion, didn't we?
Did we have it? Did we already have it? It was basically just like consoles could play it in 1080 like 10 years after the fact. 5 years after the fact. Well,
I don't think we've had a console versus PC discussion. I know we had like Skyrim remastered versus original Skyrim. I mean, I did boot it up for like 5 minutes. I'm like, this doesn't look any different on my machine.
I did too. I say, if I wanted to play a console, I would just get the 10-year-old components out of my closet, reassemble an old computer, and then squint my eyes while I'm looking at my monitor.
Well, I don't understand the drive to own a console like the 360 or the PlayStation 4. There's a lot of emphasis placed on the individual being able to play online with people in what is becoming more of a social experience that you can already get through the PC. Now, there's some arguments to be made, for costs and all that kind of stuff, and I think it really, I think it comes down to, do I want to sit in my computer chair or do I want to sit on my couch? Which back in Washington, I had both, quite frankly. I had my TV, which was a 40-inch, LCD I had hanging out on my desk, and I had a wireless mouse and keyboard. I could sit on my couch and like have my PC there hooked up to my TV. So I already had that figured out. Unfortunately, not everyone has caught up to that. I think so. I mean, that's their own fault, I guess, for that. But
I'm very much on the PC side of the PC console argument, because I worked at GameStop during like the height of the last generation, the Wii, the 360, the PS4, and I saw all the different incarnations and everything that was going on from a retail perspective, and I fall flat on the side of PC gaming is generally tends to be. But I used to do both. And the reason I used to do both is because I couldn't afford a decent PC. And then I figured out how to build my own, and I was like, okay, yeah, now I don't have that problem.
a non-issue.
No, it's not. The last console I owned was a PS2. I think I still have it.
My wife and I had a Wii before we, or a Wii U. Before we moved out to Pittsburgh, which we got rid of it before we moved, just because we couldn't bring a TV with us or anything. So we're just like, we didn't really play it anyway. But the only reason we had it was because we have a lot of people over to our house fairly often. It was a great party console, like Mario Party for fucking days on that thing.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine getting like an Xbox today, because when I think about making a shopping decision for a console, I'm thinking, okay, so if I'm gonna have friends over, let's play on the console or something like that, right? There's very little, I think, functionality given to consoles in that regard for that local multiplayer. Now it seems to be all about that online play, which PC's already been doing for years.
Yeah, I know. What always rubbed me the wrong way about the Xbox series of gaming is that if you want to play online, you have to fucking pay for it. Not for the individual game like you're playing for an MMO. You have to pay for the privilege to go online and play a game just in general through the Xbox online membership thing, which I always thought was patently ridiculous. When it's like you built your company on PCs and it's free over there. Why are people paying for it over here?
Because they can get away with it.
That's exactly the conclusion that I came to too, is that they can get away with it and their consumer base will accept it. They will accept paying for something that you can get for free somewhere else just because they can.
How much does a PS4 cost now, anyway?
I don't fuck if I know. Expensive as shit when I was... Well, I don't think I ever sold a PS4. I was there for PS3.
Yeah, I understand that not everyone has like $1,500 or $1,000 to pitch at, a gaming computer. Like, I understand that. I think
you can build a nice budget rig for like $400.
Yeah, but not everyone has not necessarily the will or the know-how to put a computer together. And while it's not hard,
YouTube.
Well, I'm not sure I would necessarily trust YouTube to put a computer together. I mean, it depends on who you found and who you talk to and all that kind of stuff. It's also a comfort level. Like I used to. I mean, I say used to because this latest rig I got, I actually had the shop guys put it together because it costs so much. I was just like, if this computer's gonna cost a shit ton, I'm gonna make sure they put it together. So if something fucks up, then it's gonna be their fault, not mine.
Yeah.
So that they can replace the parts if there's a problem. But I typically put my computers together. That's because it was a learning process, and there was some money spent along the way because I broke components because I was dumb with them sometimes. So I understand like the comfort factor there in some of those things, where it's just like, oh, maybe not everyone wants to be able to or wants to put their computer together. They just kind of want to work. Which, as a consumer, I understand.
Yeah, I get that too, but if you're, if that is your like your main tipping point, then you also don't get to come back and go PCs are bad. It's more like I like consoles because I can handle it. Well, I mean, maybe that sounds a little crass, but I mean, if your main argument is I can't, I don't want to, or I can't, or I can't, I don't know how, I don't want to learn, then you also don't get to come back and go, it's bad because I say it is.
I would agree with that.
All right, how many more turns till I get to blow people? 3 more turns till Manhattan Project's done. 9 until I get to the moon.
Oh man. Nuke the Earth and then fuck this place.
I don't really like the rabid, like hatred between the console people and the rabid PC people and the rabid console people.
Well, console peasants should just know their place, and there won't be a problem.
Yeah, I was watching a stream of Battlefield 1 just because I wasn't really doing anything. It had just come out, and I just wanted to see some of the gameplay. And I was watching someone play it on PS4, I think it was, and I got like an hour into it, and then someone in his chat, because apparently he had been streaming it when it was recorded, like mentioned something about like the PC console quote unquote war. And he started off like really like nicely going, well, that's not something we really need to talk about. Like they can play on their thing, I could play on my thing. And then it devolved into this really condescending, like, yeah, they're perfectly welcome to play on their $10,000 4K rigs that nobody knows how to use and is completely pointless. They're perfectly fine, and we're not going to talk about it. And it literally went on for like 4 minutes of him like condescendingly going, yeah, fucking sucks, and we're not going to talk about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure I know where you stand now. I'm done watching this.
A $10,000 rig. That's a computer I'd love to play on, actually, frankly.
God, like, yeah, exactly.
That's gotta be an amazing rig.
Fucking beast rig. I mean, I'm using the same case I bought when I was 17 years old. I've upgraded the motherboard once in the last 11 years. I've upgraded the graphics card like twice, the hard drives once, and it hasn't, over the like 3 life cycles of consoles, I've maybe put like $800 or $900 into the rig over like 11 years. It's not, you can't look at it and say it's more expensive to do it this way. If you're not a moron, it is not more expensive. But then again, most people are morons. I mean, right now, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, yes, I can invest in some slightly better, slightly better hardware and stuff like that. But it's because it's like, okay, now this is my business. It is for work. I can spend that money as an investment to do better at work stuff. What is this? Enemy size sabotage production of my Moonlander by a turn. Oh.
Those jerks.
Oh, buttholes. Like, I fully believe that PCs are a superior gaming platform, but consoles are clearly successful, from an economic standpoint. There's no getting around that. I mean, PCs are more successful, but consoles also have their area of the market. I like the people who point out 1 or 2 exclusives to a console and go, see, PCs don't have that. Let me show you the list of 10,000 games over the last 3 years that have come out for the PC that you don't have.
Well, I'm not sure how the whole exclusive thing is
There's always somebody
makes that justification work. I'm unclear on that.
There's always one person who is like, you can only get this game on this console, so it is a superior console.
Well, okay, so is that supposed to then somehow justified me spending 400 or ish.
Yes.
I'm gonna say ish dollars because I don't know what the current price of the consoles are.
The most famous is The Last of Us for PlayStation. Is you could only get it on this, so it's you got to buy this console because you can only play The Last of Us on this. It's like, okay, well maybe I don't want to play an action RPG with stealth elements. Because that's the only thing that you guys know how to do.
Well, let's say that you did though. Would you want to go out and purchase the console for $400 and the game for another $60, assuming it's new? I mean, that's roughly $500 after tax, depending on where you are in the United States. That you are now spending just to play the exclusive. You know, like what?
That's what I always come down to. Is I'm not, if for me personally, that's not something I'm interested in. And even if it's something you are interested in, I don't understand the concept of spending that much money to play one game, or one or two, or maybe three, or a few handfuls of games, and almost everything comes out on the PC eventually for a cheaper price. And we have entire genres that don't even exist over there. Oh, Grand Strategy.
I would love to see somebody try to play EU4 on an Xbox controller.
Oh, that would be glorious.
You could probably do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had like StarCraft on my N64.
God, that was that was terrible, though.
It was.
That didn't function very well.
No, it did not function very well. Trying to select units with that monstrosity of a controller.
I remember renting that when I was young, and I had an N64, and I rented that. It's just because I played on PC. I was like, oh, playing on 64 with my friend. Split screen multiplayer with StarCraft. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. Split screen when you're playing against someone. Just don't look at the bottom half of the screen.
Well, it just wasn't enough. I mean, StarCraft didn't have a high resolution to begin with, but the resolution on that screen, Jesus Christ. Terrible.
One more turn to nukes.
I know backwards compatibility is often cited as a bonus for PCs, but sometimes it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to try to get some of that stuff to work.
It depends on like which OS something was like last supported on.
Yeah, I remember,
but it's generally not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Command & Conquer fan, at least for the first one, and then Red Alert, those two. After that, I kind of feel like the series was steadily going downhill, and then it got to like 3, and it was just like, okay, faceplant. After that, pretty much what EA got its hands on. It's just like, come on, guys, come on.
Generals, what it was when I was like, okay, I've had about enough of this.
I remember trying to load up my my copy of Command & Conquer Red Alert on a newer PC that I had on, like, it was like Vista or something like that, and it wouldn't work properly. And I was just like, well, that's sad. And I like scoured the web trying to find stuff to make it work, and I couldn't find any particular like guide to help me out or any software I could download to make it work. So I was like, fine, fuck it. I'll just be forever lost in the annals of my gaming history, and I'll wax nostalgically about it, to my kids in the future. But then I found not that long ago there was like some folks had come together. Maybe it was from EA themselves, but there's a free version of Command & Conquer, the first one, and then Command & Conquer Red Alert, as well as Tiberian Sun. I found out that which is it's updated and everything, and it runs fine on like Windows 10. So I was like, oh man, like downloaded it and played it for all legal, all free, that you can just get for free. That
did you ever play the Command & Conquer first-person shooter?
Oh, Renegade was so good. Renegade was amazing.
Oh, it was good.
I got into it late though, so I didn't get to do all the cool multiplayer stuff, which looked like it would have been a lot of fun with people.
I didn't get to do multiplayer either. I just remember being like super ecstatic, seeing like all the like iconic buildings and everything from first-person perspective. I was like looking up at everything. It's so big.
Yeah,
so I completed the nuclear program, 18 turns to build one nuke.
Oh man, can you buy it? Can you buy the nuke?
Let me look. Nope.
Dang.
Nope, you cannot.
Cannot buy a nuclear weapon.
Nope. It is way down at the bottom with like the you know, like accelerate a great person kind of stuff. Oh boy.
Well, that should be next episode then, right? We get a nuclear weapon, get to see what that does.
Maybe. I mean, so far in 30 minutes, we've cranked through all of 11 turns.
Was this Ben or Bob?
I think it's you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the series. We kind of are. I'm really just looking forward to nuclear hellfire at this point.
It's getting a little tedious.
Maybe that'll be the thing. We'll nuke something and then we'll just call it good there, probably. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because I want to see nuclear hellfire happen.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Please remember to visit our Patreon pages if you'd like to support our channels with more than just a view. It does help us out quite a bit to making this a sustainable, life need fulfilling job for both of us. And I'm actually getting closer and closer to there's a community goal that I have of being able to create a game server or do some kind of community kickback myself. And the more Patreons that I have for that, I don't know if Ben's doing anything like that. I don't know if you have anything like that in mind at all, but I know the more Patreons I have, the more likely something like that can happen where the community can then have like a game server or maybe, you know, like a game raffle of some kind. I'm willing to entertain ideas if you want to get on my Discord server and pitch those to me. So anything you want to plug, Ben?
No. You think you covered it.
Okay. All right. I'm just that cool.
Bob's good.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you guys later.
Goodbye.